Welcome back to the Hollow Table Games Network. I'm Ginger Joey.
And I am Life Day's #1 fan, Corey.
Huh?
Life Day, have you
Huh?
never watched the Star Wars Holiday Special and enjoyed yourself some
Oh,
Life Day?
okay. Okay.
It's coming up on time. We're nearing time to celebrate some Life Day. Come on.
You are quite the trivia useless knowledge guy, aren't you?
That's what I try. That's probably the most value I bring. Yes.
Is the useless knowledge?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. It's worth it. It's worthwhile. But
All right.
anyway,
Well, we are in a bit of a state for Star Wars right now. It's kind of a lull moment for the most
yeah.
part. That being said, the biggest thing that happened this weekend was the BIAtl that the BIAtl Network puts on out in Atlanta. So that was the big hub of the do, and the big draw to that one by a lot
And
of
just
people.
for anybody listening that might not know, what does BIAtl mean?
BIAtl Invitational Atlanta.
There we go. Yep.
What are you
Just
worried
wanted
that
to.
they're going to worry that the acronym is not what they think
I
it
mean,
is?
somebody might not know what it means.
Fair, fair. Well, let's hear it. This will help you. It's even the image for what it is, which is
Yeah,
for
yeah,
their
yeah.
so the Atlanta Boston Invitational. So
There we go.
um and the Boston Network puts that one on, which is Frank and Courtney and all the crew out there. John, I think it's Cleese is his last name. I don't remember.
I don't
Um
know. Yeah.
and well, I'm a jerk for not knowing that one ahead of time. So, but they put on a good show out there. It's been quite a good turnout for them. I think they had the 3v3 team event had 43 teams, and the 8K and had 243 participants. So,
Hmm.
I mean, just basically half a sector, basically, is what's going on for that one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Really good
the
turnout out there.
yeah. We did have a Portland crew ourselves go out to the 3v3 and participated in the 8K, the Babu Freaks. Shout out
Hmm.
to Julian Bin and Misha. They went down there
Yep.
for
Yep.
that. I think they got 19th in the 3v3. The 3v3 was repeat champion won by Tata's team of Ophir, Tata, and KTOD's team with Tata, Ophir, and I believe CJ was filling in for who's the Han player that's always there?
I do not remember names that well.
Well, the three
Terrible
was
about
CJ, Ophir, and
it.
Tata. So
Yeah.
that's who won the 3v3 event. They defeated the McClunky Gaming's team in the finals for that one.
Yeah.
Then we had the 8K, which is your individuals, and this is probably your biggest first glimpse at what Set 6 is going to be bringing to us as far as a meta, kind of how it's going to gel out before we start hitting our PQ season, which really doesn't start until December. So we still have about a 3 week period before that's going to actually start kicking off for us. So bring up the bracket. Whoops, that's not the button I meant to hit. Not that one, that one.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So after the whole thing gelled out, this was your top 16. And you might not be able to, I can't zoom in on it because I'm not that savvy with this, but over on the right hand side, you're going to see Julian and Ben, the two of the people that were part of the Portland crew. They both made top 16. So congrats to both of them. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Out of
Big congrats to both of them.
240, yeah, 223 people, 243 people, something like that. So
Yep.
big ups. So this is what you're looking at. This event, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to be spoiling stuff for you. I maybe should have put that
Yeah.
as a teaser
Obviously.
in the beginning, but this is a review, and if you haven't seen stuff, don't watch the review before you watch the actual event. So
Yeah.
the winner is the bottom right hand corner. Philip Samuelson. He repeated. He won last year and he won this year. So
Hmm.
he actually flew in from Europe for this event. He's part of McClunky Gaming's crew, and he was on, as you can see, Han 1 Green, which it was a force until it wasn't a force, and then now it's a force again. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
It's
crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I watched a lot of the matches today. It was a good, very enjoyable watching them all. It was interesting to see I think we are very much seeing one of those very early metas where nothing is really solidified yet. We know, yes, Han 2 is strong, Han 1 is strong, resource cheating across the board is strong, but there's still experimentation that we're seeing in various other decks. We've got decks popping up that maybe have done okay in the past, but haven't been seen quite as heavily that are a mass in this one. I think the biggest one to shout out is that Anakin Data Vault. Anakin got a fair bit of help from this set. Some more restore in the green space. Captain Typho or Tycho or whatever his name is, he's
Typho.
really good in that deck. So that kind of just really helped him out a lot more to be able to just hold out to that flip turn and then just go at face with Anakin. Same with like plot actually also helped him a lot because oh man, Anakin flipping into a sudden ferociousness on top of him is pretty disgusting. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of experimentation still. I like we got a Sabine Yellow that popped up in there in the top 16. That's great to see. Julian, as mentioned from Portland here, he's been on Han 4 Tarkentown for a bit. He still thinks that's got some very strong legs potentially, which I would
It
agree on.
does.
Again,
It
resource
does.
cheating. Yep.
Well, no, that well, it's sort of resource cheating. I mean, you get the whole like if you can get the flip properly, you're basically getting two turns in one, but
Yeah.
it's an abrupt resource cheat, similar to how the Boba Fett was back in the day. It's not so much the oh I can resource cheat all game long kind of thing. So
Yeah. It's a more limited one, but that is a lot of what plays into what makes it good. Yeah, overall though, as I said, it feels interesting. It feels like we're gonna see, I think for at least the next few weeks, we're gonna be seeing this meta still playing out on what can compete, which is great for experimentation, great for trying out new decks to see if you think you can beat some of these decks or have a good matchup into some. When there's a diverse meta, that increases your chances if you go into any competition. So uh, I like this initial spread. I'm curious to see what it's going to end up narrowing down to in the long term.
sure. Something to as of note, I believe they stated that the number one represented deck at this tournament happened to
Yep.
be Piet Red. So notice there's not a single Piet Red in this top 16. I wonder if that is the new, what is it, Boba Fett, where it's heavily played and just can't get there.
I think there's a good possibility of that. I mean, I look at this top 16 and these are pretty much all bad matchups for Piet Red. And I think that's
Sure.
the big thing is just like across the board, he doesn't really want to sit down against most of these decks. Probably Quinlan, Tarkentown, Cad, Tarkentown, I think are the least problematic for him, but everything else here are the last thing he wants to see. And that is part of it. If the meta plays out this way, where it looks like red green heroism is going to be pretty strong, along with blue red heroism, that's not a good place for Piet.
Yeah. So some statistical notes that you can take away from this top 16 is that there is 14 of 16 of these decks are heroic. So that maybe puts villain in like a bit of a back foot situation, or that just hasn't been hashed out yet. The biggest villain ones are on here would be Ophir on his Cura Data Vault. And where's
Mm-hmm.
the other one? It was a Cad Tarkentown, I believe, is the other one
Cad,
by
Tarkentown, yep.
Carlos.
Yep, that was
Carlos,
Carlos Torres.
yep, Carlos has been on that forever.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to note is that there is not a lot of aggro on here. A lot of it is your mid-range to borderline control-ish type stuff. So the aggro decks, as of note, would be the Sabine, Quinlan Tarkentown to a degree, and probably the Han 4 Tarkentown, the space one, are your biggest
Yeah.
aggro representers on this list here. You have 11 of the 14 decks involve red in some way, shape, or sorry, 16 decks involve
Mm-hmm.
red or 14 of the 16. Sorry, 14 of the 16. Nine of them have green in them, and six of them are Data Vault, and four of them are Tarkentown. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just very interesting. Green Heroic definitely got the biggest nod with this latest set as far as power cards to come out. Red probably the second, mainly because of Nemec for the most part. So
Yeah, and I'm also curious. Yeah, again, this is where I think it's going to be interesting to see. Another thing that I think is interesting here is while there was a lot of concern about Cinta in Luke 4 and Cinta in Boba Data Vault, neither of those decks made the top 16 at all. So I don't know if it's. I mean, again, I don't have the entire field. I'm sure there were at least some of those. And that's another one where I kind of look at this field also and go, yeah, most of these matchups are ones they don't want to see. So it's going to be curious to see if it does play out as this type of mid-rangey, heroic green, red, heavy meta. That's going to be detrimental to those space decks because they don't really want to be seeing that as heavily as this.
right. I will say from the viewing experience, it felt like exactly what I thought it was going to be by and large, which is so early after the set has officially been released. You're mainly seeing existing decks filling in 2 or 3 cards from the set to kind of curve out what they needed to shore up some weaknesses. I think the biggest one that you haven't seen up until this point is that Anakin Data Vault. Other than that, I think it's pretty much by and large we've seen this before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very much that. That's another one where I'd be curious to see the entire field. How much did we have of new leaders? How far did any of them make it? But that might, I mean, I think there is a strong chance for this meta. Are we going to see many of these new decks play out? Nothing I've seen, I think, so far has been one that I think can compete against this field that we're looking at right here. So, but that doesn't mean we're all the way done yet. There's still adjustments. There's still things that people probably haven't tried out. So, good
We're not
time
even
to keep
close to done.
experimenting.
We're not even
What?
close to done. That's what I
Oh
said.
no,
We have
yeah,
like
not even
three
close. So
weeks
keep
before PQs
experimenting.
even happen, and then PQs will start popping off, kind of thing. This just
Yep.
gives you, this should just be looked at as a very small snippet of what you might be expecting to encounter by some of the top players that are going to be coming to your local PQs. Because a lot of the players that went to this, they flew in for it, right? So they're going to
Mm-hmm.
go back to their hometowns and they're going to be playing a lot of these kind of decks. So great, recognize and understand. That doesn't mean you can't find that silver bullet that just dethrones them, and then suddenly your deck becomes the thing that everyone's like, "Holy crap!" So
Yep.
yeah, I wouldn't don't like go, "Oh well, I have to play this." You don't have to play this. There's a lot of other stuff to be out there. This is just like a how did this plan out for so far?
Yeah, 100%. This is the time for experimentation. This meta is still very open, and I think things are going to continue to shift significantly over the course of the next month or so before we really see something start to stabilize. I haven't looked at the list of how many PQs we got upcoming or anything, but I think it's pretty light for most of this first month. So
It
you're
is.
not going to see anything much just popping up as, yeah, this is definitely the Dominic deck because a lot of people are just going to be experimenting locally, experimenting with showdowns, but not a lot of major tournaments really, I think, until December-ish that we start to see more of them pick up, or even January.
In Portland, we have one coming up
We do.
somewhat.
Yep.
We have a 1K this coming Saturday. So those of us that are in the Portland area, if you're watching this and haven't signed up for that, consider getting into that because there's only 32 spots for that. So it's not going to be like a big player count, but it will be like the biggest tournament that we're going to see for a little while. So
Yeah, big one. Do come out and join us for that. It'll be fantastic. Um, Yeah, looking here, I don't even see it. Swoo Base has the upcoming tournaments listed right now. So yeah, I don't expect to see a lot though, as
no.
mentioned. Just a little bit here and there, but do keep an eye out. I mean, it's a good gauge of seeing what's out there and what's placing to think about what you want to focus on being able to do well against. What
Right.
do you need to be boarding for? What do you need to be sideboarding for? This is telling you this.
Or if nothing else, it's just telling you the play the deck that you want to play, but know that these are the potential decks you have to play against and try to have an answer for stuff that's going to be
Yeah,
coming your way is essentially all it is just information. So
yeah. The nice thing is these are pretty much all decks we all know. That's one thing I kind of like is we know these decks. They got a few new tricks, but It's not like we're having some huge surprise coming at us. And I think that is part of what Anakin Data Vault, that what had it do so well is the fact that it was something that people had not been as experienced against. Also got some help.
Well, I mean, I think the big thing with the Anakin Data Vault was it got some tools that really allowed you. I mean, Nemec in that deck is ridiculous because you're trading
Nemec,
up into a
Typho.
5 health posing unit. And then if they want to kill you first, great. Now you get a readied spy token, and all the spy tokens trade up to 4 health when they attack. That's
Yep.
like the big thing is that any spy tokens you can create, Anakin can like supercharge them. And I think that's why he's
Mm-hmm.
got a good like feel for this latest set right there.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Amidala is a beast in that deck as well. That
Yup.
just comes out like, well, great.
Because now Amidala can trade up into 7 health units.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. She can do a lot of damage quick.
yup.
So yeah, an interesting deck, and I mean, yeah, as I said, we'll see how things play out going forward. But we're wide open still. This is the Wild West, which I always do enjoy.
One of the tricks that I love that they were doing was the legal authority on the Anakin, because Anakin normally comes
Yep.
out with a lot more power, so then you can legal authority something. You're putting it on your leader, so it's harder to get rid of that to get your units back. The other thing
Mm-hmm.
you could kind of do the same thing with is use Queen Amidala. And as long as you can
Yep.
keep making official tokens, you can't kill her to get your stuff back.
Yep.
She just retains them and locks them in prison, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
both very fun options. So
Yeah. It's overall really good stuff, and yeah, as I said, give it a try. I'm going to be playing that deck a little bit myself, actually, to try it out. Don't know if it's one of my type of long-term deck to play, but it does look fun to play for a bit. So I'm
sure.
going to give it a test.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Kind of a quick one. Like we said, wasn't a whole lot of tournaments going on over the weekend, but just this BIAtl. If you haven't watched it, you should at least go to YouTube and check out their VODs. You can at least
Yeah.
then skip through and just get to the matches, so you won't have to be there for the 6, 7 hours that they were actually playing the game. You can summarize everything up in a couple hours if you really want to. So that's going to do it for us here at the Hollow Table Games Network. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.